pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Dear Lord, please watch over us tonight as we do the business of the City of Boonville. Please help us make all the decisions we can. Thank you for the rain, which is very appreciative, and thank you for a wonderful Easter Sunday. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Amen. Hi, Mary Pat. You're perfectly on time.
Well, I was outside the door. I didn't want to interrupt on.
All right, you're up.
We had
First I have to do roll call. I mean, she has to do roll call.
Coward.
Here.
Harville.
Here.
Elbert.
Here.
Venable.
Here.
Davis.
Here.
Atkinson.
Here.
Young.
Here.
Meadows.
Here.
Everybody's here. Mary Pat.
I have show and tell. So. And Kathy, if you come forward, it'll help me pass out some things.
Now, if you're gonna cover all that territory, we're gonna be here all night.
Well, no, it's actually, this is to show and tell and give you some, two different ones. And I will sign Kathy in as well.
Thank Thank you. There we go.
For those of you who may not have met Kathy, she is our branch supervisor for Boonville Regional Library, Kathy Burke. She and her staff do an absolutely excellent job. Okay. Could you fill this out? What I have for you tonight is to dispel any rumors that the library being on the April 1st agenda for the council is an April Fool's joke. I am thrilled to be here to share our progress, that we are moving forward with a big giant step. And as you may have heard in the media, read in the paper, that the Boonville Regional Library Board has approved construction documents. And so we are moving forward with the first phase, which I will go through with you, which is basically the construction renovation, and then anything that is attached to the building, which would be carpeting, ceiling tiles, any kind of vinyl, any built-in cabinets, things of that sort. The second phase is actually the selection of furnishings and fixtures and equipment. And what I'd like to do is just acquaint you with, and I have a larger version, so I'll try to help you with that. What I have are two different items. One is actually the floor plan, and actually it might be easier to use the smaller one because they're stiffer. One is the floor plan. There are 4 pages. Just to give you a quick overview, the first is the exterior. And I'm not going to go through every detail because I hope you'll come on Thursday from 5:30 to 7 to our open house that will be held at the library. Open to the public, very casual. Come and go as you wish. We'll be there, have samples of some of the things that have been selected as well as larger floor plans. And so the floor plans that you have not only are the exterior, but each of the 3 levels. Starting with the lower level, the main level, which is the main area as you come in the front south door, and the upper level. And then to correspond with that, we have the design some design plans for you to kind of see where we're going. Now so you can lay them side by side as we talk about this. The design plans are then divided into a little different order, but the main level, followed by the second level, which is the upper level, and then the lower level and the exterior is last. But what I'd like to do is just touch on a couple of things very quickly. We will be doing exterior work on the building. The front facade, the entranceway needs to be restored and repainted, as are some areas. The building is essentially in very good shape, but there are always things that need to be done. So we've allowed for some tuck pointing, and we are going to put in some screening of evergreens around the equipment on both the west side and the north side, so that it's a little more attractive for everybody that's down there. If you look at the very last page of the design, you will see, you'll see some of the ideas that we have for some signage, which would be to spell out the word library in large letters right in front of the library. Again, that's something that is depending on the fundraising, whether or not that's something that will go in right away or something in the hopefully near future. But we will be then, you can see the green hedging, not necessarily those plants, but the idea of some kind of screening around the equipment to make it a more pleasant looking area. We're also going to be adding safety rails to the ramp that goes on the east side. It's not shown here, but it is in some of the drawings, as well as an area to protect where the picnic table is so nobody falls off that ledge. On the back, on the west side, we will be painting the fire escape so that it will be the same black color as the ramp handrail, and then we'll be also using that for some signage over a period of time that can be changed to let people know what's happening at the library. I'll come back to the pictures that are on this page, because I'd like to first just touch on a couple of things. The second sheet on the floor plan shows the lower level, and that actually is the very last page, well, second to last, that will show you sort of a basic floor plan. And what you see here in red or pink, these are proposed placement of furniture, not necessarily things that have been selected or going in that exact place, but for us to have a good idea of where we need to have electrical outlets and where we need to run fiber and things of that sort. Also, so we don't end up with something sitting right on top of a heating cooling vent. The main thing that has been a consideration for the delay in the progress is that once you get an old building and you start to open it up, you find that there might be things there that are different than you'd planned. That's what happened, first of all, on the stairway, where the architect said, you know, back in the 90s when they designed the main level and the upper level, and they put those wonderful floors, concrete floors in, they couldn't have planned it any better to make it impossible to put a stairway from the main level to the lower level. So there have been some extra supports that have been needed. We're having to remove some wall structure and then rebuild it, but there will be a stairway that goes to the lower level, which is a real must for the library, for both access and safety. So when you come in the east entrance, everything is handicapped accessible, the east entrance as well as the west entrance with the new ramp. You will come into a hallway that will then, as you proceed to the west, you'll go have the Uncas McGuire Discovery Center that's on the lower left of the plan, and we're moving the door from right by the entrance door to the middle of that wall, and we're putting a half wall of windows so that you can actually see into the discovery area and see the activities of the children. The room on the right is going to be a community room that will have both a kitchenette as well as access to audiovisual equipment as well as a television for use for many, many purposes, whether it be meetings or lectures or receptions or whatever, but truly a community space. And as you go further down the hall toward the west entrance, to make that more appealing, we are moving the wall that's just right inside the west entrance. There's about 5 feet if you've been there on the lower level. You walk in the door, there's about 5 feet, and then there are walls for both bathrooms and the elevator. So we're taking the bathroom wall and moving it back to make that more of an open lobby area. And we're making all of the restrooms that are in the building family restrooms so that they can be accessible by anyone. So there'll be 2 restrooms on that level, and then a larger opening, entryway. And then to the upper left will be the staff workroom. And then that wall is going to be in the back of that room, or on the south side will be adjusted so that there's doorway and additional space for the Friends of the Library to store their books back there. And as you know, they take donations of books, and any proceeds that come from those sales go right back into the library. We'll have access to the stairway, and the nice thing about the lower level is that you can lock off the staff workroom area and the stairway, and then utilize the rest of that level in the evening and when the library's not open, which is, I think, a real plus for the community. And if you look at the lower level, you will see, the carpeting that's picked out. We have some wonderful tile samples that will be used in the Discovery Center. And if you look in the upper right corner of the design, lower level design, you'll see a darker hallway. That is part of the acoustical ceiling plan, that it's going to be a slatted ceiling with a felt backing for acoustics, and then there will be lighting that will be in between the slats at different intervals. So something that's not only attractive, but very, very practical for library. And we're doing it on just the hallway down there, just to minimize sound and the tramping of lots of feet. We'll have carpeting both in the community room and in the staff room, and the other will be a heavy vinyl that is shown on another page. Going to the main level, again, we haven't changed many things as far as walls, other than the walls we have to adjust for the stairway and the bathrooms on that level. On the main level, however, and that is the first page, the main level has the outline, and again, I mentioned that where you see placement of book stacks and things of that sort, they may not necessarily be that way. The lower right corner of the main level on the plan is basically the children's area, and that's going to be livened up, but book stacks represent the number of books that we have to place in that area. As you come in, there will be the Friends Book Nook, or whatever they're going to call it, niche or whatever. And then next to it, the first floor lounge, or the main level lounge, that's been named after the Isle of Capri for their wonderful donation. The circulation desk, which is across on the west side, is actually going to be rebuilt. That area is going to be taken down and then actually rebuilt, and there is a design of that on this front area. We looked at adjusting what was there, and it really ended up being more expensive to adjust what's there than it was to take it down and start over. So, and it's wonderful because you can come in, you can deal with staff at a standing height as well as sitting down, and this is all ADA accessible, so those that are in a wheelchair or handicapped can come to the lower level counter. We've selected a treatment to the oak that'll tone down the orangeness of it, but still preserve the grain. And the ceiling, you can see in this panel, the ceiling panel an idea of what it will look like and how the lighting intersperses. And I'm happy to answer questions now or later or on Thursday. Moving to the upper level, again, modifications structurally that'll be in this first phase will be including a family restroom in the upper, just off the upper lobby area, as well as a private room for tutoring or study that will have a lockable door but can be reserved by anyone who needs to have some private time. Even if you're one that wants to just go in and have some private reading time and want total silence, we have that available too. There'll be a lounge on the upper level, as well as most of the upper level books will be adult books or young adult books, so that there'll be probably a minimal of young people activity in this area. In the upper south corner is a wonderful area that will be developed as a research reference, a genealogy area. And we haven't named the family who's going to be supporting that through a naming opportunity, but there are a number of those that are coming up. And again, a lounge in that area that is available for naming if anybody is interested. But I think a very nice atmosphere. The chairs that you see around the perimeter are going to be placed so that they have visual with the arched windows that are there, that are so nice and such a nice addition. And as you can see from the design standpoint, you can see the overall look of the carpet on this and some fun artwork that is proposed for hanging in the center area around the railing. We are indebted to so many people, and I have to say it starts with the city council. Years ago, Kate remembers, even before I was on the board, when we talked about ideas and things that could happen down at Kemper. And the library was one of the magnets that we wanted to bring down there. And so I appreciate the vision of this council and former councils and administrators, and I thank you all for your support. The picture that you see on the last page of the design is hypothetical. It's still not finished, but it's in progress, and I've begged our interior designer to let me go ahead and show it. So it's in the schematic stage, as she says. But it gives you an idea, taken from, on the main level, from where the Friends of the Library corner is, across where the lounge is and the book stack, and then the circulation desk over in the background. And by opening up the circulation desk area, it will make that room appear even larger and more serviceable. We are also indebted to the wonderful donors who have given donations large and small. And I know many of you here are to thank. We encourage the public to come to the open house on Thursday. It's very casual, come and go. I'll be doing a brief presentation at 6:30, but the doors will be open from 5:30 to 7. We're there to answer questions. We're talking about a very large project. One of the reasons things have taken a little time is because with projects like this, it takes money. And the funds, we have raised over half the funds, but we have more to go. And with the funds we've raised, which is $600,000, and the support of the safety net that the Boonville Regional Library Board has given us, we are, now that we have a budget and we can take care of the stairway. We also found a little surprise as we got into the heating cooling season and found that the lower level did require replacement. We looked at repairing what was there. It had not been functioning well for, I think, quite some time, but to repair it, a 13-year-old system was going to cost $30,000 or more. And the board decided that that was not a reasonable investment, even though it was going to be more expensive to put in a new system, which could be $100,000, possibly more, possibly less. We won't know until the bids come in, but roughly we're looking at around an $800,000 construction package. And then beyond that, we'll be looking toward furnishings and fixtures, using as many things as possible from the library here. But the new library has actually about 2.5 times as much space. And we're looking for durable furniture, library quality but comfortable. And if anybody has priced library furnishings, 3 years ago I priced the book drop that would be outside, and it was $15,000. So that gives you some perspective of costs. So if anybody would like to build a book drop for us, please let me know. I'm open to questions if you have them, or I'll be here at the end of the meeting. I encourage you to share with your friends, to come. This is going to be a spectacular community-based place for people to come, people of all ages. And I think the attraction of Kemper with the trail, with the prospect of the buildings next door being renovated, I think we couldn't be at a better place. And we are, again, indebted to all of those who've been supportive, and I say, and patient with us. It's a meticulous kind of project, but we appreciate your support, and I will be open to any questions if you have them.
Thanks, Mary Pat.
Thank you. I appreciate the extra time, too.
Brad has a question.
Do you have a projected timeline on when all this is going to be completed?
Well, the documents right now are being, the final touches are being put on to go to bid. We anticipate that next week. We'll be let for bid. Bid period is generally 3 to 4 weeks, and we'll look at the exact bidding date and then move to probably an end date of Tuesday or Wednesday, three weeks from that. Then what we're doing, instead of saying the construction period is 6 months, we're asking each of the contractors that submit bids to give us their timeline. We feel that we have some friendly contractors who may move us up in their project lineup. And that will be a consideration. It won't be longer than 6 months, but it could be shorter too. So we plan to begin this year.
Okay. Thank you.
That was a long answer, wasn't it? Sorry about that.
All good.
Any other questions? I plan to be here for the meeting, so if there are questions afterwards, one-on-one, I'd be happy to answer those as well.
Thanks,
Or
Mary
anytime.
Pat.
Thank you.
Do what?
Here's my public comment.
Where?
Just ask. I'll come up.
All right. And any other citizens' comments?
I've got one, sir. First time at a city council meeting, so I hope this is the correct
Welcome.
protocol. My name is Steve Kincannon. I live at 615 Elm Street, and I'm just hoping for some better or enhanced enforcement of some code violations around my home. Since 2018, I've been contacting the city about basically a concrete waste dump and a scrapping business that is contiguous to my property. I run a little law office here in town, and I've just put $10,000 in my backyard, and I've been going on for about 2 years, 3 years with this, and maybe the city administrator could fill in the rest of the city council, but it's at this point I'm at the point of filing a private nuisance action, but I don't want to do that. In every city council meeting rolls around and they clean it up, and then a week later I've got trash everywhere again, and I'm kind of just done running around with the game anymore. So I'm hoping that maybe the city administrator could fill us in and see what's going on with those two properties, because they're really bad.
Yeah. Any news or comment?
We can talk about it in miscellaneous.
Okay. If you want to stick around, we'll talk about it a little
Okay.
later.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Any other citizens' comments? Okay. Approval of the minutes of the previous meeting. Any questions or comments? Then they will stand as submitted. There are no consent items. Presentation of accounts and claims. It's on page 6.
Ordinance appropriating money. Be it ordained by the council of the city of Boonville as follows. Section 1, for the purpose of paying salaries and various accounts against the city of Boonville, which have been allowed by the council at the regular meeting thereof on April 1, 2024, the sum of $270,315.78. General fund, $115,485.87. Sanitation, $39,385.27. CIP tax, $13,142.74. Waterworks, $44,373.52. Capital projects, $0.00. Wastewater, $29,068.27. Tourism, $5,609.32. Gaming, $13,644.65. Parks and Water, $9,606.14. Kemper sales tax, $0.00. Economic Development Project, $0.00. Section 2, the accountant is hereby authorized and instructed to draw checks on the respective city bank accounts in favor of the persons whose salaries and accounts have been allowed as above, amounting to $270,315.78. being the total amount of money being appropriated. Section 3, this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after its passage. First reading, April 1, 2024, read for the second time this April 1, 2024, since a copy was made available prior to the meeting.
Second reading, title only.
Ordinance appropriating money.
Mayor, I make a motion that we approve these accounts and claims.
Thank you. Second?
I'll second it.
Thank you. Questions or comments? Roll call.
Howard.
Yes.
Harville.
Yes.
Elbert.
Yes.
Venable.
Yes.
Davis.
Yes.
Atkinson.
Yes.
Young.
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Any unfinished business? Being done? None. Item 8 is new business. May on Main Street, pages 7, 8, and 9. What,
This is me, I'm sorry, I don't think Mr. Arvidsson is here. And I'm actually looking at it and I don't know that,
It just says downtown area.
where does it say that?
Well, he has it marked right here. Like he's just got it marked.
Proposed
But-
location.
Yeah, but he is asking for a street, oh, not a street closure, so I think it's in the sidewalk. Okay, so, I'm sorry, I misread the form. I'm still getting used to our new form. May on Main is an event sponsored, I believe, by the Chamber of Commerce. I think they're trying to, have vendors on the sidewalks. Because he's not asking for any parking or street closures, so there's not actually particularly anything for the city council to approve or not approve from this. This is really more informational. And that city staff will provide some picnic tables at the designated locations they request. And I think their goal is to have this the second Saturday, and I think if they, if it's successful, I think in future years, they hope to have it more often, so.
any questions for Kate? Okay. Item B, consider resolution number R 2024-04. Approving an agreement with Vance Brothers for Cape Seal roadway improvements 2024. Pages 10 and 11.
A resolution of the City of Boonville, Missouri, authorizing and approving an agreement between Vance Brothers Incorporated in the City of Boonville, Missouri pertaining to Cape Seal roadway improvements 2024 and providing an effective date therefore. Whereas the City of Boonville has solicited and received bids for this project and determined that Vance Brother Inc. represents the best bid pursuant to the purchasing code set forth in section 2-20 of the City of Boonville Code of Ordinances. Therefore, be it resolved by the City Council of the City of Boonville, Missouri as follows. Section 1, that a certain agreement between Vance Brothers, Inc. and the City of Boonville, Missouri relating to Cape Seal roadway improvements 2024, a copy of which is marked Exhibit A, is attached hereto and made a part hereof, is hereby approved. Section 2, that the city administrator and the city clerk are hereby authorized to execute and attest said agreement on behalf of the City of Boonville. Section 3, this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after its passage and approval past this first day of April 2024 by the City Council of Boonville, Missouri.
Is there a motion?
Mayor, make a motion we approve this resolution.
All right, thank you.
I'll second.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. Any conversation?
Kate, what's the scope of the work we're talking about on this one?
I didn't understand what you said.
That's it. Sorry, what was the scope of the work?
I'm gonna defer to, excuse me, Scott, sorry, if you can speak to the streets we're covering on this Cape Seal.
Actually, I don't remember.
I,
The streets that they're already doing. Yeah, there's 5 or 6 of them. Yeah, there's 5 or 6 streets on here. And a Cape Seal, in case you don't know what a Cape Seal is, go down with a chip and seal surface. And the snow plows don't like the rocks and the chip and seal, so then we come with the slurry seal cover over the top. It gives a better structural integrity to the seal coat. It also fills the cracks with the chip and seal, really fills cracks real well, and then Cape Seal then moves it out for snow plows. I don't have a map either. Anybody can call me at any time, I can give you the names of the streets, so I can show you a map of them if I can.
I was just trying to see if it's in a file. Do we have an electronic?
Robert Street was one of them.
Should be
P drive.
in the projects folder, I think.
Any other questions?
Unless I don't.
Is there a motion?
Oh, I've got it.
You got it?
I do have it.
Yeah, I'd say, I'd just like an idea of what we're
Yeah.
covering with this before we move forward, if that's possible.
No.
What are you looking for?
I'm looking to see if I have the plan, sorry. Maybe the plans aren't in here. I think it was like they said, it's mainly with 6 intersections, if I remember correctly, more specifically, and then sections of roads. It's not as significant. It's sort of a replacement, and we'll look it up and I'll send you the plans tomorrow.
Okay.
But it's similar to like when we've done the chip and seal projects where we kind of, when they do their inspection and they go out and see the worst parts, then it's those surfaces.
Any other questions? Motion?
There was already a motion.
We have,
I just need to do roll call.
Roll call.
Howard,
yes.
Harville,
Yes.
Elbert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Passes. Item 9, reports of standing committees. A, Board of Public Works meeting, February 29, 2024. That's scary, Jeff. We have a meeting.
It's one every 2 months, whether we like it or not.
Okay. Any comments or questions for Jeff? Item B, Board of Public Works meeting, cancellation for March 28, 2024. Item C, Street Alley and Sanitation Board meeting minutes, March 13, 2024. It's on page 15. Any questions or comments? Item D, Boonville Housing Authority, page 17. Any questions? Okay. Item 10, reported city officials. City Administrator, dangerous building hearing.
Yeah, if you look on page
18.
18, we have 3 houses that we actually sent notices out, but we've had a really hard time getting service to the 3 houses. We finally have gotten service, and we are ready to move forward with the dangerous building hearing. For those of you who are new, the city council, you guys serve as the jury of sorts, I guess I'll call it the jury. They're the person whose property they own, and we present evidence why we think it's dangerous, and then you guys tell us whether or not you think it's dangerous and we should take it down. So that is done in a hearing, and we're looking for a motion to set that dangerous building hearing for all 3 of those properties, 818 6th Street, 810 11th Street, and 814 11th Street, on Monday, May 6, 2024, and it'll start at 6 p.m.
So moved.
Thank you. Second?
Second.
Okay, got a motion and a second. Questions, comments?
Do we care if there's current construction going on at these structures or residents? So I think the one on 818 6th there's something going on there. I don't know
They're
why.
in the prolonged process of demolition, so I think that as the city, we would like to present evidence that they're not
Progressing.
progressing.
Fair
Yes.
enough. Thank you.
I drive by the 11th Street one every single day, and nobody's staying there anymore. But that house is off of the foundation now. It is really bad. The 810 11th.
Isn't
Yeah,
that
it's-
814 a trailer? Or
Yes.
double wide?
They're both
Yes.
gone.
Yeah, it's falling.
Yeah, they're both.
That just keeps falling.
Therefore, when we first brought this up, somebody was parking there overnight.
Yes, they was.
So
What do we need?
There's a motion, second, and roll call.
Roll call.
Calvert,
Yes.
Harville,
yes.
Albert,
Yes.
Venable,
Yes.
Davis,
Yes.
Atkinson,
Yes.
Young,
Yes.
Meadows.
Yes.
Passes. I have no
I guess-
special.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Do you have some?
No,
Huh?
I'll just talk in miscellaneous about the,
Okay. Let's go to miscellaneous.
I actually
Amber has something.
I actually have something.
Well, for some reason or other, nobody said anything about Amber. I'm sorry, that's
no,
an
you're
insult.
Reminder, tomorrow is election day, obviously. A lot on the ballot, lots to vote for. And then next Tuesday, the 9th, is sign die at 7. So, where we close out business and start new. So,
All right.
that's all I got.
Any other further questions or comments? Si, you got
Miscellaneous,
something?
are we to miscellaneous yet?
Say it again?
Are we to miscellaneous?
There's a lot of miscellaneous.
All right, next week's large pickup trash?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, my dad was coming back in town, I just wanted to remind everybody, especially for the snowbirds.
yeah,
Okay.
your regular trash day.
Anybody else? Motion to adjourn?
Wait, I think you guys will, I think Mr. Concanon wanted an update on the 615 Elm Street, or 921 and 922, I'm sorry. So just an update, so just a little bit of information about code enforcement. We are structured by what the statutes and the guidelines allow us to do as a Class 3 city. So several years ago, when I first started taking on code enforcement, back probably in 2005 or 6, even when Megan was still here, for those who've been around here long enough, we changed the weeds and debris ordinance that enabled us to kind of step up enforcement for people. And so there's like for repeat offenders who, and really this was originally geared towards people who didn't mow their lawn. We had certain people who we said that we were like the lawn service for, like the lawn service for them. They just didn't mow their lawn ever. And so when we have enough repeat offenders in the same year or in consecutive years, we can send a letter, what we call a one-time letter. And that one-time letter, if they do not clean it up after the administrative hearing, they're given 5 days to clean it up. If they do not clean it up, then from there on, we do not have to send them a notice any longer. to do a cleanup. We can just go out as soon as it's a problem, whether it's a lawn mowing or a debris. When it comes to, as Mr. Concanon already mentioned, the habitual debris, every time we send a letter, they clean it up. There's nothing I can do about it. We've chased cars all over town for that same reason. They can move a car to a new house, we have to send the letter, they move the car back to the old house. We send a letter, they move a car. That's just the way it works. We don't have any ability to enforce it if it's a habitual, as long as they clean it up. I do know we also spoke with the landlord today about that. He was demoing and repairing the basement apartment, so that's one thing he told me he's pretty much nearing completion on. So we are managing that one. We did run this last set of debris through a one-time notice, but they have until April 5th for cleanup. So if it's complete, then I have to just close that case and we have to start over. So there's nothing I can do for those sort of habitual people who clean up. If they just rely on us to tell them when they have to clean up, then that's all we can do. We just keep sending them notice. As for the concrete waste on the property, we did send a letter to those people. I believe we were just looking that letter has not been accepted. That's the other thing. In order for any time clock to be starting, just like with the dangerous building hearings, we have to have gotten notice that they have received it, and that has to come through a return receipt, so they have to sign for it. It's very hard to do these days. On the weeds and debris, which we used for the concrete waste, if they don't give it to us in a certain amount of time, then we're allowed to post the property, and it has to stay posted for 7 days. If after 7 days it's still not cleaned up, then we can put out a work order to clean it. That's where we're at with that property. We told them they could either put dirt over it and seed it and try to grow the grass, because that's originally what they were trying to do, was level out their yard, or they need to remove the concrete waste. Up to this point, it is still there, but it's probably about due for posting if it had not been received as of this morning, so we didn't have proof. So we are addressing both of those issues to everything that we can do. It just gets difficult when people are habitual violators.
If I entertain a question while we're on it. The private nuisance statute, for me to file suit, requires me to get a hold of the notices that the city has sent. Could those be made available to me?
Yeah, you'll just need to make a FOIA request to the city clerk for the relevant addresses.
Thank you so much for that.
Anything else?
That's all I have on those. I'll just say that it's April and our code enforcement team, everybody forgets that they need to mow their lawn. So it starts growing and they don't mow it. So they will send out a significant number of letters in the next 6 weeks, and then everybody gets back in the swing of mowing their lawn more regularly. So they do as good of a job as they can. We do also, I know Paula's talked about this and we've talked about it, just so you guys know, we actually try not to take things to court if we can, because when we turn it over to our prosecutor, we actually lose all the control. So whether or not a case is even filed, it's completely prosecutorial discretion. So both Philip Wooldridge and Brad Wooldridge have managed some of these cases for us. They can decide whether or not they want to file it, and they don't have to consult us. That's the way it works. So when we have a property owner who calls us back and says, hey, here's what's going on, whatever it is, we do typically try to work with them as much as we can, because when it's still within our system, then we're able to work with them so when we do return it over to the court, there's really nothing, we just don't feel like there's any response that we can do. But ultimately, the bigger frustration for us is on that matter, even though they can be fined for every day the violation remains, the court doesn't tell them to clean it up still. They just get fined. So it doesn't solve our other problem that we really are trying to go after. And that's just the frustration of code enforcement that can be very difficult. That's the other reason we try not to take it to court, because it doesn't solve the problem. They just pay a fine, but the stuff can stay there, and then you could have to send it back. So it's just challenging with some people to get through that. Yeah.
Are there any other houses right now on the dangerous and dilapidated buildings list?
I think though, once we get these 3 done, we'll probably go back out and see what's left on our list. We've done a pretty good lick on some of our worst
I
ones.
just happened to drive by one today.
Okay.
That looks really bad.
Well, go ahead and you can email me
I'll
the
let you
address
know.
and we'll have it, we'll kind of go back out and look and see what's left.
Okay.
That's all.
That's all?
Yeah.
Anybody else got something? Motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
All right. All in favor, stand up and go.
I need a second.
Second.
All right.